Anthony Richardson, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is AJ Brown, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is Josh Allen, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
RosterWatch Nation, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Watching Rosters. Right now it is. Welcome back to Watching Rosters, RosterWatch Nation. Week 15, the fantasy football playoffs are here. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in, tuning in. We'll go as long as y'all need me to do today because I know as the playoffs get here, we might have lost some people, but hopefully we didn't lose too many. Hopefully everybody that's been tuning in all season made the playoffs. They got some questions. They're ready to get fired up here just, a week away from Christmas? I mean, a week from now, again, we're going to be doing Start Sit next Sunday, December 22nd. We'll have, I think, in a range of, there's 4 teams currently. We'll jump into questions here in just a second, but I'm going to lay the land here because I'm excited. I'm thoroughly excited because first off, college football, bowl season, et cetera, starts this coming weekend. But this week, so we have 2 Monday night games this week. Next week, December 19th, we have a Thursday night. We have the college football games on December 20th. Saturday, December 21st, we have 2 games. Sunday, of course, we have our main slate. Monday night, we have Saints-Packers, which is December 23rd. Christmas Eve, there's nothing. Christmas Day, we got 2 games. The Thursday after Christmas, we got a game. And then everything else is TBD for that next weekend. Currently is week 17 until the Sunday night. I think there's like 5 games that are TBD right now that could be on Saturday. So we just have NFL games spanning a lot through the rest of fantasy playoffs. And I think these next 2 weeks are going to be incredibly fun. So stay tapped in here at RosterWatch. Again, if you don't get your question answered, which you will, go to RosterWatch.com, and there is a start sit thread up that you will get that question answered from Trashman, from Byron, or from Alex. Or if you're like, well, Cody said this, but I'm not sold, go on over there and see what Trashman thinks, see what Byron thinks, see what Alex thinks before your game gets underway. I'll be live next weekend for week 16. Will not be live for championship weekend. Championship weekend, you got to go to the website, RosterWatch.com. Again, everything on the website is $9.99 a month, period. Like $9.99 a month, you get damn near everything except for the premium download section. But you get everything that's a pro, all the pro stuff from the rankings, the underdog picks. And again, we're continuing to do underdog picks, 60.5% on the season. We're still crushing. I think we dropped into like the high 40% 2 weeks ago. Bounced back up this last week, and we're going to bounce back up into the 70% this week from a weekly basis. You make that $10 back if you go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code ROSTER. You get a 50% deposit bonus. So you go over there, you put $50 in, you get 25 as a bonus. You got $75. You put all of our picks in. I promise you, you'll make your $10 back that you can use to sign up for RosterWatch.com. All right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Again, like I said, I'll be live next Sunday, December 22nd, but not the following, which is the 29th, which is championship week. And you have to go over to rosterwatch.com to get those questions answered. Then let's jump in here. DJ, who's your DJ getting us started here? 10:51. He's been waiting here for a minute. Appreciate you, DJ, for jumping in here. Let's get this thing cooking. All right. PPR. Need to T. Higgins, Adam Thielen, Malik Neighbors. So here's the thing. I think before I even look at the rankings, I think first and foremost, the T. Higgins thought process for me, I think it's there as far as the targets go. Obviously, Chase Brown has been elite. He's been the running back 2 side by side, 22.3, 22.2 fantasy points per game over the course of the last, I think it's 5 weeks or 6 weeks since week 9, right? With Josh Jacobs. Ahead of him is only Saquon Barkley, averaging 26 fantasy points per game. That's at the running back position. At the receiver position, Jamar Chase is 75 points ahead of Justin Jefferson on the season in totality. So this offense has an abundance of fantasy points exploding from it. Obviously, Joe Burrow leads the NFL in passing this year. The expectation is that, T. Higgins, he's been eating. He's going to continue to eat. He's going to be worthwhile on a weekly basis. But the problem is, it hasn't been as consistent as you may hope, right? You go back and you look at the games that he has played, especially since he's came back from injury. It was wide receiver 2 because he got all the targets that one game back in week 11. Then they had the bye. Week 13, he was wide receiver 16, and this last week he was wide receiver 50. And the targets dropped down to 5, 13, 10, 5. 2 games this year with 13 targets. After that, it's been very wishy-washy back and forth. So to me, it really comes down to the matchup as far as T. Higgins goes. All right, so we have Malik Neighbors, who I love. I have him at wide receiver 12 this week. That's my bullish push here versus Trashman and Alex, who have him at wide receiver 20. Higgins, I'm kind of the inverse. Trashman and Alex have him at 8 and 9. I have him at 20. T. Higgins matchup is 19th on the RosterWatch matchup tool, which is bottom 12. Malik Neighbors is top 6 against the Baltimore Ravens, the sieve of a defense that we've talked about throughout the year. And then the third option you have here is Adam Thielen, we actually have like a pretty strong stance on. Pushed kind of predominantly by my rank, but he is wide receiver 30. Top 10 matchup here against the Dallas Cowboys. I have him as wide receiver 21. So even me, who, like I said, is bullish on Thielen and is low on T. Higgins, I do indeed still have T. Higgins one spot ahead of Adam Thielen. So this thing really does come down to a tight horse race here. So we're going to go Neighbors and we're going to go T. Higgins over Adam Thielen. I think this is a great question. I think it's an interesting dichotomy because, the Higgins thing obviously has great upside in this offense. And this team needs to continue to win for obvious reasons to try and make a playoff push that I don't think is going to end up making it. But I think it's a good question. I think Thielen's going to get his, so it may be annoying to see Adam Thielen get his earlier than maybe Higgins, but you're going to have to hold on. I think Higgins and Neighbors can get you there. So that's where we have them ranked this week. DJ, appreciate you. Best of luck. Steven Zick, Dalton Schultz, or Tucker Kraft at the tight end position. Not an elite place to be, if I do say so myself. Schultz we got at tight end 22. And Kraft, I think, is at tight end. Yeah, I think he's top 10, right? Yeah, he's tight end 9. So Tucker Kraft by the clear shot right there. I think Musgrave is on his way back. So there's that. But I think Kraft has kind of stapled himself in here as the elite tight end in this tight end room, which to me is crazy. I mean, I love Tucker Kraft, but I thought that Musgrave was the shoe-in. But it makes sense. It makes sense. South Dakota State stand up. South Dakota State, North Dakota State, and South Dakota all advanced to the FCS semifinals. The old alma mater, North Dakota, Grand Forks, the one Dakota team not in the FCS playoffs. It's a disappointment, I guess you'd say. Half PPR, Otten or Juwan Johnson. I love me some Juwan Johnson. Otten's got a solid rank for us, but his matchup is booty. So he's got the 32nd rank, the toughest matchup today against the Chargers. Juwan Johnson sitting here with the middle of the line matchup against Washington. I like Juwan Johnson ahead of Cade Otton. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with Juwan Johnson at the tight end position. I think you just look at the options in New Orleans, and it's like, well, what really else is there other than Juwan Johnson and Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Kevin Austin? Yeah, Kevin Austin's really an option in New Orleans. All right, let's go Gooner Boy. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you jumping in. We are a nation at RosterWatch.com. Matt Cassidy, DJ Moore or Jerry Jeudy? DJ Moore or Jerry Jeudy? I think this one's going to be a little bit closer than first expected. So DJ Moore is at wide receiver 27. I think we have a bull take on Jeudy here. I have him up at wide receiver 14 overall personally. Alex has him at 21. Trashman has him at 19. He's got a great matchup. The wind, we're a little worried about the wind and the weather in Cleveland today. Let me check the weather again today in Cleveland. The last couple of days I've checked it. The precipitation. So looking at the weather is actually going to be sitting decent. It's going to be 42 at kick today. Precipitation looks like it's going to be nothing for the game. So let's see, noon to 3 o'clock, 10%, which looked like I don't know. I'm not in Cleveland right now, so I don't know if it rained right now or this morning, but there was a 65% projection of rain this morning during the game. That looks like it's going to be about 10%, potentially 35% at the end. Wind 18 to 16. It's going to be getting better as the game goes on. It goes down to 14 at 6 p.m., so it should get better as the game goes on. I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be pretty much in the clear for this game. So all systems are go. I'm not as worried about this thing as I was 3 days ago or even yesterday in the SiriusXM show. We thought there was going to be some actual rain during the game and the wind was going to potentially push 20 miles an hour. But that number that we look at is about 18.5 when talking to meteorologist guys in the fantasy space. So Judy v. Moore. I like Moore on Monday night in Minnesota, but I love Judy connected to Jameis with no said Tillman and potentially a banged up or no David Njoku. Matt Cassidy, best of luck. Gooner Boy from Lad, Rashad White and Neighbors. I need 2 in half PPR. Have no idea which way to take this with Bucky and Lad status. The Bucky thing for me comes down to this, is that he's been banged up the last couple of weeks. They've pushed him out there, but last week they didn't push him out there as aggressively. Obviously, he had the 150-yard game 2 weeks ago. I like where Rashad White sits in this whole situation, right? Bucky is a great running back, but Rashad gets overshadowed for whatever reason. The guy's RB3 last week because he gets 44 snaps. Bucky doesn't play because he's hurt. Like, he's not 100%. This guy had a hip back injury, brought into last week. I think it's back into this week again. This team's just trying to win football games again, and they want their best players to get healthy, and they can't get healthy with a back and hip injury by playing. So when I look at Bucky Irving, and he's questionable, DNP with a limited on Friday, I look at that as, probably going to play me some Rashad White this week. So we're going Rashad White, and the other options you have is Lad and Neighbors. And Lad and Neighbors, the problem here in week 15 is I think Lad's a 425 kick, and I think Neighbors is a noon kick. And the Lad, you're not going to get any potential injury update, obviously, until after that first game is pretty much in the bag. But I feel like Lad's probably going to play. He's limited every day this week with that knee. I feel like Lad's probably a shoe-in to play. Again, this is another big game. They have to win this game at home against the Bucs. They had a big win last week, obviously. But I love Neighbors. And the way the rankings are spelled out right now, I'll just read them straight off the board to you as far as our team ranks. Let me cue this quickly this way. So there's Neighbors and there's Lad. So Neighbors is our wide receiver 18. Lad's our wide receiver 21. Both have top 6 matchups. And the bull, who's got the bullish take here? I got the bullish take on Neighbors. I got him at 12. I got the bullish take on Lad. I got him at 13. So I gotta go Neighbors here, and then I'll go Rashad White in the inverse. Appreciate the question, Gooner Boy, as always. Joe Justice, where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? We in the playoffs. Let's get this bread. Let's get this money. Let's keep on getting these dubs. Watching rosters on RosterWatch.com. We appreciate y'all for tapping in, tuning in. Remember to go on over there. Let me finish this up here. Before we get on over here, to go to UnderdogFantasy.com today. Use our promo code ROSTER, and you yourself can win some cashola. You put in $50, you get 25 back. You put in 100, you get 50 back. It's a bonus. It's a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 using the promo code ROSTER. You go over there, you tap in, then you go to RosterWatch.com. You get the player prop cheat sheet from RosterWatch.com. You plug in all the picks. What me and Alex like to do, we like to take all these picks. We like to plug them into ChatGPT. We got 15 picks here. You plug them all in. You say, hey, ChatGPT, could you please give me 10 groups of 4, 10 groups of 3 from this list? And they'll spit out 10 groups of 3 or 10 groups of 4 from here. So they'll take Alex's favorite pick, which is Jahmyr Gibbs, 16.5 longest rush attempt. They like mine, which is Xavier Legette's highest 18.5 longest reception. Derrick Henry, higher than 100.5 rushing yards. And then maybe they'll give us the trash man Parker Washington, higher than 27.5 receiving yards. They'll give us those 4. We'll plug it in. And then they'll give us 4 more and 4 more and 4 more and 4 more. And we'll get those dubs over there at Underdog Fantasy. So we appreciate you for tapping in. Please click that QR code. I don't know if you can click it or not, but you can scan it. Or go to UnderdogFantasy.com and do the damn thing with the promo code ROSTER. We appreciate you and we love you for always tapping in over on Underdog. All right, back to you, the people, the great people. Bob Watson. Good morning, brother. Let's smash Murray or Daniels. I think this is a great question because I think both these guys are, boom, 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 boom. We got these guys at quarterback 4 and quarterback 5. I love Jaden Daniels going down to New Orleans today, back to Louisiana, where obviously he won the Heisman Trophy last year with LSU. Shout out Travis Hunter. Matchup number 17 this week for Jaden Daniels. Kyler Murray hosting the New England Patriots, the 6th best matchup on paper using the model. I have Kyler Murray as quarterback 3, Jaden Daniels quarterback 6. But the consensus was Alex and Trashman. They both had Daniels ahead of Kyler. So that's why we have them back to back. And that's why just kind of the way the law of averages brings Daniels ahead of Kyler, whereas I personally have Kyler ahead of Daniels. So I don't think you can really go wrong here. Obviously, you're getting your rushing here, 34 rushing yards per game for Kyler, 45 rushing yards per game for Jaden. I think you're indoors in both matchups. You couldn't really ask for a better situation to bet on. I think you got Kyler with a good running game and James Conner. You got Marvin, you got Trey McBride, you got Michael Wilson, you got plenty of weaponry there. For Washington, you obviously got Ertz in the backfield there, and you got Terry McLaurin, who's in the smash spot of all smash spots, the cuck score, which we've talked about the last couple of years. The corners under constant chaos. That you can find this thing over at South Harmon. My man Matty Kiwoom took it over last year, and he's built this thing that is great at predicting mega games. And Terry McLaurin is predicted to have a mega game today and crushing. So go check that thing out over at South Harmon. My man Matty Kiwoom created that thing top to bottom. Jaden Daniels, great spot. Kyler Murray, great spot. I personally lean Kyler Murray. All right, Bob Watson, best of luck today. Appreciate you. Juan Marcelo, start 3. Dell, Reed, Leggett, or Devonta Smith. I'll tell you right off the rip, I want to play Leggett today. I'll tell you right off the rip, I want to play Xavier Leggett today. The other wide receivers that you had in here was Tank Dizzy. Obviously, Houston is in a big matchup today. Nico Collins, etc., hosting the Miami Dolphins. Last week when the Dolphins played against the Jets, it was almost a 4x1, a 4x100-yard game with Garrett Wilson, Adams, Tyreek, and of course, Waddle had to give us 1 yard short of a hundo. Otherwise, we'd have had a big old 4x1. I wonder if the 4x1 can happen today. Waddle, Hill, Nico, and Tank Dizzy. I'm not quite confident in Waddle or Tank Dizzy, but I do believe Tyreek and Nico can eat. So we're going to skip on Tank Dell from your list here. Jaden Reed. I don't trust really anything in this wide receiver room for Green Bay at the moment right now. We just haven't seen any model of consistency. So I got like Leggett. And then you got Devonta Smith here. Devonta Smith, I do have him. I mean, he's playing. I have him back. He's got to be back up into that top 30 area. So I like Devonta Smith. I like Xavier Leggett. And then it comes down to Dell versus Reed. And for the reasons I just explained, I'm going to go Dell. So we got Dell, Xavier Leggett, and Devonta Smith. I wish I could make this sound better for you. But again, I don't think any of these are great situations to be setting in. But I'm going to go Xavier Leggett, Devonta Smith, and Tank Dell today. Juan Marcelo, appreciate you. Harry Snowman. Savage Snowman got the bye this week, Cody. 2 games to the ship. Let's go. Have a great morning. Cheers to you as well. Harry Snowman, appreciate you, man. Keep on keeping on. Frozen State Productions. Brees Hall, Sincere McCormick, or Tracy Jr. Need 2. So we got to cut, a.k.a. bench, one of these guys. The thing with Tracy is people think that Tracy is in some sort of doghouse. And to me, he's Rashad White. Like, that's just what he is. He's gotten the opportunity. You saw the last 4 weeks, he's been a top 20 play. He's giving you an 8, a 10, an 18, a 15 as far as the finish at the running back position. I'm fine with Tyron Tracy. I'm not going to be one to sit here and fade him. He had a game last week with the highest targets that he finished with in the entire season with 8. Devin Singletary sat there with 8 rushing yards for like the majority of the second half. There's not a lot of opportunity going around for the backups in New York. So for those reasons, I'm going to continue to stay high on Tyron Tracy. Tyron Tracy this week, I have sitting at a low rank of 23 overall, but he's also got the second toughest matchup in the NFL this week with the Baltimore Ravens, who we know are a sieve on the back end. We just talked about that with Neighbors. But I do believe Tyron Tracy in this game, in this situation, they get down big. Mr. DeVito is going to be dumping that thing off to Tyron Tracy, and hopefully we get another 8-target performance on the ground. All right, Sincere McCormick and Brees Hall. This is where it gets tough because obviously Brees plays it throws a wrench in the thought process because early in the week, I think we thought that Brees was probably not going to play because he had DNP on Wednesday, DNP on Thursday. He gets a full practice in on Friday. Again, this is a knee injury. I tend to be a little hesitant here to just go, yeah, man, let's plug him back in. He was a top 12 projection for Brees Hall. But then you bring up the fact that, Sincere McCormick. And I'm like, well, I mean, Sincere McCormick doesn't exactly get me excited, but he's been sort of consistent. He's been sort of a consistent top 30 play. You at least know you're going to get those opportunities because they're force feeding them to him. You get that on Monday night, or you got to play Brees today down in Florida outdoors. I don't even know if is that grass down there. Is that grass? Let me check and see if that actually might be a little bit of a Jacksonville Stadium grass or turf. I think it's grass. The Jaguars' next playing field would not be grass, which would mean a turf field. It will be switching from grass to turf. It is currently grass. That's what I thought. I thought it was grass. Okay, so there are new renovations that are going to be taking place next year in their, what was it, $1.7 billion expansion. That's going to turn into turf, but it's currently grass. You know what? I'm going to go Brees Hall and Tracy today. Out of your two here, Frozen State Productions. I appreciate you. Best of luck. Best of health to Brees Hall today for your fantasy team. We don't win championships playing Raider backup running backs. I understand Sincere McCormick, UTEP legend, but I think it was UTEP, right? Or was it UTSA? Was it UTSA? Damn it, it was UTSA. UTEP was Aaron Jones. UTSA, Sincere McCormick. Frozen State Productions. Best of luck, brother. Kip C, let's go. Happy playoffs to the nation. And Cody spent most of my morning looking through my free agent list, looking for Hollywood. You never know. I think you never know is the right answer here. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs, who, again, we just talked about a minute ago. 10 games. Holy shit, that would be a lot. 3 games over the course of the next 10 days, beginning today at Cleveland, then at home against Houston, and then at Pittsburgh in the Fantasy Football Championship. 10 days. Who knows what happens at these positions? Hollywood Brown looks like he's starting to practice this week. The window is open, and the window would close before that Denver game. So potentially maybe they close it, or they activate the play before the Pittsburgh game, and you all of a sudden have potentially a starting wide receiver, fresh legs for this Pittsburgh Steelers game oh my gosh, I'm missing words this morning, from the Kansas City Chiefs. Kip C, I like the idea. Hollywood Brown. All right, we got to get going. I see a ton of questions up in here. Appreciate y'all for jumping in on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. Let me give this thing a quick retweet over on the old X machine. If you want to follow us over on X, you can do that at RosterWatch. Appreciate y'all for doing that. If you do, we got a couple of questions coming in from there. Let's ask these ones quick. I'll get you quick, Clown. I don't know what your name is, but Clown, I'll get you. Christian Niles on X says, do I risk playing Ladd over Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr.? I would say no. I'd play Neighbors, and then Ladd, and then Brian Thomas Jr. Vlad the Impaler says, how effed am I if I have to play Irving today in a win or go home matchup? You're pretty effed, Vlad the Impaler. I will say I don't feel great about Irving today in a win or go home matchup. SB says Tua or Kyler. We all like Tua this week, but Kyler is about 4 spots higher in the ranks. That's from Twitter. Appreciate y'all if you're over there on Twitter asking questions, staying tapped in. All right, back to these. Can you rank these guys full PPR? Dowdle, Pollard, Bigsby, ETN. People might not love my ranking for these guys in particular, but I'll let you know what they are. Here we go. All right, so Dowdle, I think, is going to be my highest ranked guy. He is running back 16. Let me see what the other ones up you had. So you had both the Jacksonville guys. Dowdle, Pollard. Okay, so Dowdle is running back 16. Pollard I have at 13. And then we have a big drop-off down to Bigsby and ETN. ETN is 35. Bigsby is 37. I don't feel good about either of these backs in Jacksonville. So I guess if it's a picking one, we're picking Pollard. If we're picking 2, we're picking Pollard and Dowdle. Appreciate you. John Sioka. Flex 3, Bucky, Rashad, Pollard, Stevenson, Zay. Stevenson's losing ops to Gibson week after week. Zay, I feel decent about, would feel better, I think, if it was PPR, but I don't feel good on a week-to-week basis for Zay Flowers. Bucky, Rashad, Pollard. I like Rashad and Pollard. Bucky, I'm fading a little bit, so you got to flex 3 here. It's Rashad, it's Pollard, and then I would say Zay over Bucky. Those are the 3. I'm leaning towards benching the Bucks running back. I would not bench Rashad White. I think Bucky's obviously banged up. I think he's probably going to play, but I think that's going to be something similar to last week. I don't think we're going to get a running back 3 output from Rashad, but I think we're going to get a top 12 output from Rashad. Let's go White, Pollard, Zay Flowers. All right, let's do some rapid fire here. Chicago D says Brees or James Cook, Watson or Leggett. So first off, I'm going to go Leggett over Watson. And then for Brees or James Cook, I have Brees Hall right here at running back 18. And for James Cook, we got him running back 20. Oof. I didn't think that. I thought I was going to say James Cook, but we're going to go Brees Hall. Best of luck, Chicago D. Big Meech, good morning, brother. Pick 1, half PPR, Waddle or JMO. I also have Amon-Ra St. Brown, if that matters. Also, Bo or Kyler. I like Waddle today in half PPR setting or JMO. I think it's a big game setting for both guys. Miami must win at Houston. Detroit, not quite a must win, but it projected a very high score. I don't think the total is high enough in that game. 54.5 should be 60.5, to be honest with you. Plenty of opportunities for JMO here, but I'm going to go with Waddle, potentially ride some, an 8 reception game. Maybe get us up over 100 for the first time in forever for Jalen Waddle. I'm going to go Waddle because I don't want to put too much stock into the Lions game. I understand doing it, but I just don't want to do it in this situation. And then you ask Bo or Kyler. Love Bo this week, but I love Kyler just a little bit more. I got Kyler at quarterback 3. Bo, for me personally, quarterback 4. Again, I'm bullish on both guys, but I have Kyler a touch ahead of Bo. We do have an inactive that just came out, Teron Armstead, the tackle for the Dolphins, expected to be inactive. He is officially inactive today, so we're going to continue to watch Tua Tagovailoa getting that football out earlier and earlier into his opportunities. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day against the sick edge rushing duo of Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. Franz, need one big dog. Vidal, Isaiah Davis, Kendre, or Sean Tucker. It's been a battle. Need upside. Ooh. Well, here's the thing. If you need true upside, if you need like a true 20-pointer, Sean Tucker gives you that. The problem here that you're sitting in is with Brees Hall projected to play, Isaiah Davis is pretty much nuked. I love Isaiah Davis, but he's pretty much nuked if Brees plays. Vidal, I don't believe in it right now. Kendre, we see the opportunities growing and growing with no Dennis Allen. So my heart of hearts tells you I wouldn't lean upside here because upside tells me to go with a Tucker or Vidal, which I don't feel good about. I'd rather go with a Kendre who's getting carries out of this backfield, more opportunities as the weeks go by on a team that could potentially be down 28-7 early in this game. We could see a lot of Kendre in the second half. So I'm going to go Kendre here, friends. Pick 6 highlights. Good morning, PPR League. Pick 1, Pacheco, Tracy, Metcalf. We're going Tracy here by a couple spots ahead of Pacheco. I know people might like the Pacheco stuff in Cleveland today. I'm not against it. It is close, but for me, I'm going Tracy ahead of Pacheco, and then Metcalf is down here. Metcalf hasn't had a good game in a month. He hasn't been a top 24 wide receiver. Johnson, Robinson, PPR pick 2, Jonathan Taylor, Charbonnet, Pollard, Tyrone, Tracy. I know I have Pollard ranked ahead, and I know I have Charbonnet ranked ahead, so I'm going to go ahead and ride with Pollard and Charbonnet ahead of both Taylor and Tracy. Best of luck, Johnson, Robinson. Carlos, Bob, pick 2 between Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, and A.J. Brown. Woof. And Dowdle or Kamara at running back. That's an interesting one because obviously we've seen the consistency from, not consistency, but the RB2 consistency from Alvin Kamara week after week. But Dowdle has been, he kind of found his way in this backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. I got him at running back 16 this week. And he's got the number one matchup on the RosterWatch matchup tool. I'm going to go Rico by 2 spots. I have Evan Kamara running back 19 and Dowdle at 16 with a great matchup. Kamara's matchup is middling. Again, they could get down, like I just said, 28-7 early against Washington as well. But I think that would behoove Kendra a little bit more at this stage of the game. Wide receiver, you said Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, pick 2. So we got Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans. We'll just go top to bottom here. We got A.J. Brown as a top 10 play. We got Mike Evans as a top 12 play. And the third one you said was Garrett Wilson, who we do have at wide receiver 16 with a top 3 matchup on the RosterWatch matchup tool. David Njoku officially inactive for the day. If you're looking at the Cleveland Browns Kansas City Chiefs matchup, he is officially inactive on the day. That's big news. That's big news for Judy. That's big news for Elijah Moore. If you have him, rip him. Rip him. No Tillman, no Njoku. Ripping Judy today. Ripping Elijah Moore today. 8+ targets, 10+ targets each against the Kansas City Chiefs. Chicago D, he says Coleman, Michael Wilson, McMillan, Watson, or Leggett. Elijah Moore in half. Need 1. You just answered the question. We just answered it right there. Perfect timing here, Chicago D. Elijah Moore. Then I would go to Xavier Leggett. Then I would go to McMillan. That would be my top 3 here. But I would start out with Elijah Moore today in Cleveland. All right, inactives are continuing to flow in. I will pop them up. I'll talk about them if they're big news. Tony Pollard officially active. Dustin Hopkins is out. The kicker for the Browns is out today. That's, I guess, important for those that play kickers and defenses. Riley Patterson will be kicking today for them. Breece Hall is officially active. The wind blows. Breece is in. DNP full and in. AJ says JSN or DJ Moore. I have Charbonnet in the flex. JSN or DJ Moore. I tell you where the rankings say. The rankings would tell you to go Jackson Smith and Jigba. The matchup tool may say, hey, not so fast. We're going to go DJ Moore. But we all 3 consensus love Jackson Smith and Jigba ahead of DJ Moore. Even the model is on board with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Man, he's becoming a very important pivotal piece to this offense. We got another kicking news here. The Commanders will also have another new kicker. Zane Gonzalez, left foot, is out. Greg Joseph, the former Minnesota Viking, will kick today for the Commanders against the New Orleans Saints. Malachi Corley, who cares? Dearness Johnson's not going to play for the Jags. That's not really that big of a news. He's obviously deep down there behind 2 bad backs. Andy Sue, which quarterback should I start in 6-point passing touchdown league? Mahomes, Herbert, or Nix? Looks like we got a super chat, so I'm going to jump to the super chats after this question. Mahomes, Herbert, or Nix? Nix is my QB4 on the week, Andy Sue, so we're going to go ahead and ride with Nix. Like I said, if you guys put a super chat in here, the super chat jumps to the top. I know we had a couple people waiting here for a minute for the super chat. Sorry about that. Chris M7. $5. Cody the Man, Juwan Johnson, or Freiermuth, full PPR, and Caleb Williams, Richardson, or May at QB2. 6-point touchdown. I have Herbert as my QB1. So we're looking for a second quarterback, and then we're also looking for a tight end. And when you look at the tight end position between Freiermuth and Juwan Johnson, I like Juwan Johnson by a couple notches. This is not a great matchup for Freiermuth today against Philadelphia. Freiermuth's been pretty consistent. I will say, you go back to the training camp tour, I talked about Freiermuth because I stopped in Washington, I stopped in Jacksonville, and I stopped in Pittsburgh. I did a little trifecta, little 3-piece here at Underdog, and it was Brian Thomas touchdowns, Brian Robinson rushing, and Pat Freiermuth receiving. I just tweeted that thing. I just bumped it on Twitter. Man, that thing is this close to hitting. So I think we need 35 yards from Freiermuth. We might just get it today, but that's not quite enough for an indoor game for Juwan Johnson, who just bounced off multiple top 10 games in fantasy at the tight end position. We're going to go Juwan Johnson here today, Chris. And then at the quarterback position, you said Caleb, Richardson, or May as your QB2. And for me personally, I talked about this yesterday on the RosterWatch SiriusXM Channel 87 show. We talked 2 hours about this quarterback stuff. Not completely 2 hours about quarterbacks, but we talked on end about quarterbacks because of every game. But But I said I kind of like Caleb. Caleb obviously went for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Vikings a couple weeks ago in Chicago. I can't imagine it'll be that much different indoors in a game like this against a good Viking team that can score points. Caleb fighting back, throwing the ball 50 times. I got him at QB 12 this week. So Caleb is my answer ahead of Richardson and Drake May. Drake May traveling cross country to Arizona. Anthony Richardson, of course, going out there to Mile High. We know he's gotten tired before during games. I'm not sure he's going to get tired of Mile High, but he just might. So we're going to go Juwan Johnson, and we're going to go Caleb Williams today. Chris M., best of luck in your mega matchup. Steven Zick had another super chat here. Appreciate you. He said PPR. Here it is. PPR, Amari Cooper or Elijah Moore. Think that's interesting now. Also, Tua or Darnold. Thanks, brother. Steven Zick, appreciate you. Great questions here. Great questions here. Amari Cooper v. Elijah Moore. When I look at the wide receiver position, so I'm going to adjust a little bit here. Let me see where I got Elijah because I need to adjust quick. Oh boy. I'm going to be ahead on Elijah than Amari Cooper. I'm going to have Elijah here. I just had to adjust for the weather being better and Njoku being officially out. I'm going to have Elijah at 31 today, Amari Cooper at 37. I do think that this is a spot, though, where Amari Cooper had 247 air yards last week, I believe was the number, 240-ish air yards, which was ridiculous. Another setting today for him to do that potentially against Detroit. I think there's a lot of upside there with Amari Cooper. But as far as consistency, I want the targets. You're talking PPR. I want the targets, the opportunities for Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy in this offense today in Cleveland. I'm going Elijah Moore. And then you talk about quarterbacks. We got Darnold on Monday night against the Chicago Bears. And then we have Tua Tagovailoa in Houston indoors. Again, missing his left tackle to run Armstead, but still has obviously Waddle and Tyreek. So we got Tua Tagovailoa at a consensus quarterback 8, and we got Sam Darnold at a consensus QB 12. Matchup is a little bit tougher for Darnold on paper via the model. Trash Man, wow, he's a bull take today on Sam Darnold. Got him up at QB 7. Interesting. All right, so here's the official actives today. I'll pop that up here in just a second. I just got that shot over to me. So we're going to go Tua here by a hair over Darnold, and we're going to go Elijah Moore, again, via adjustment because of Njoku and weather over Amari Cooper. Steven Zick, appreciate the great question, as always. We got a ton of questions coming in today. A couple more super chats. We'll get to them right here. We got Shamar Sam. Appreciate the super chat. Hope all is well. $1.99. Pick 2, Zay, Thielen, Mooney, Keenan Allen, or DeAndre Hopkins. All right, it's a loaded one here. So we got 5 players, and we essentially have to drop 3 of them. All right, where did my whole screen just kind of got smaller? All right, so wide receivers. We got Zay, we got Thielen, we got Mooney, we got Keenan, we got D-Hop. When I repeat stuff like that, don't think it's in type of way. It's literally just me trying to re-ingrain what my rankings are in my head before I pull them up on the sheet. So I know I have Zay. We have him at wide receiver 25. Thielen, we have ahead of that at wide receiver 21. So those are, I think, the 2 ballpark leaders in the house. I think I said that backwards as well. Keenan Allen and Hopkins are going to be in the 30s. Keenan Allen, wide receiver 40. Hopkins, wide receiver 35. And then Zay. Zay's the wild. Yeah, we just talked about Zay. Who's the wild card? Mooney's the wild card for me. He's at 33. So we're going to go Zay and Thielen here. I think I like Mooney a little bit on Monday night against the Raiders, but I'm going to go with Zay and Thielen here. And I feel good about that. I feel good about Zay and Thielen. Best of luck today to Shamar Sam. Johnson Robinson with a super chat. Appreciate you popping on. Looks like you got Cade Otton or Juwan Johnson. Cade Otton or Juwan Johnson. Otton is a guy that has, again, we talked about this a minute ago, the toughest matchup at the tight end position today. So I got him down at tight end 17. Juwan Johnson we got at, we got Juwan Johnson at tight end 14. Again, I feel much better about Juwan Johnson than I do Cade. I feel much better about Juwan Johnson than I do a lot of guys that I even have ranked ahead of Juwan Johnson, but I just don't trust Jake Haener in this offense to truly get that top 3, top 4 output out of Juwan Johnson, but I do believe Juwan will get plenty of targets. So I'm going to go Juwan Johnson here. Johnson Robinson, appreciates you dropping the super chats in here. Again, if you get any super chats, drop them. They will get answered as early as possible. I know I got a little bit behind on those last two. So let's scroll back up to where we were at one point. We got a ton of questions in here. It looks like we're still a good bit behind. We're going to see if we can't get ourselves caught back up here. I think the last question came from Andy Sue, if I'm right. I think that was the one that was the last question I answered. All right, let's go to Kip C here. Somehow, I'm in the playoffs with 0 running back help. In PPR, I have ETN, and need one of Vidal, Jaleel McLaughlin, or Jerome Ford. Thanks, homie. Man, that's definitely a spot to be in. Not a spot I really ever want to be in, but you're in that spot, so we need to talk about it. Gus Edwards not playing like the former Gus Edwards we knew he was. Kamani Vidal took the snap lead in this backfield last week, 30 snaps to 25, vaulting up from 10, 12 to 30. I don't know what that means for his long-term projection here, but Kamani Vidal has upside. He ran 15 routes last week. I think that's where he can make your hay in PPR. Not big on the McLaughlin thing right now. Jerome Ford feels like the right answer here, but tough matchup. Tough matchup against the Chiefs. Let's go Kamani Vidal here. I think that's where I'm going to lean. Kamani Vidal. I know McLaughlin's got a fine matchup, but I think I'm going to go Kamani Vidal today. A touch ahead of Jerome Ford. And I think that's just going to be driven because Gus Edwards has been so bad. Kip C, best of luck today. Appreciate you. Dan B, 2 questions. PPR, Juwan Johnson or Schultz, and then Mahomes or Caleb. We're going to go Juwan Johnson over Schultz. And then at quarterback, Caleb or Mahomes. I actually just moved Mahomes down yesterday during the SiriusXM show. I moved Mahomes down 1 spot below Caleb. So I'm going Caleb today in Minnesota on Monday night over Mahomes. Best of luck, Dan B. Mahomes, not the OG killer like he used to be. He was OG, but he's not been killing it this year. But we do like Mahomes, but just not as much as Caleb today. Oh, baby, we are a nation at Roster Watch. It's playoffs. How the hell we doing, Matt Cassidy? I'm doing great when I see some excitement in the chat like you're bringing today. Oscar Blackberg. Hey, y'all, Trash Man rules. Watson or Brian Thomas Jr.? Brian Thomas Jr. Let me finish it right there. Brian Thomas Jr. Appreciate you, Oscar. I think Trashman appreciates that as well. I don't think he's watching, but I do think he's over at rosterwatch.com. You go over there, jump in the chat and say, Trashman, you rule. I think he'd appreciate that. Bob Watson, happy BR, need one. Neighbors, Myers, Waddle, JMO. I know this one off the heart. It's Neighbors, 100%er. I think then it's Waddle, then Jameson. Bob Watson, we appreciate you. I think the stat this week that Byron sent us in the team chat was something about, I think it was something about our guy, Jameis. Can't talk today for some reason. Can't talk. Jacoby Myers is the only receiver in the entire NFL since 2000 to have 95 plus targets in a season and a drop percentage of 0.0%. So, hey, respect to Myers, but today we're going Neighbors. Chicago D, Knicks or Love? Knicks as my QB4. I got to go Knicks today. Best of luck. Appreciate that. Justin Joxa, week 15, Cody. Let's go down to business. McCormick or Tracy in PPR? Tracy for me. Stone Smart, Justice Hill, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, or Schultz in 1.5 premium. Also Mooney or Hopkins. So I know I got Mooney ahead of Hopkins as well. So we'll go Mooney for sure. We'll go Tracy for sure. And then your middle question, which is 1.5 tight end premium, which includes Stone Smart, Schultz, MVS, and Justice Hill. If this thing is upside in any way, shape, or form, if you need like a 30 burger, if you're projected to lose by 20 points, 25 points, we're 100% playing Marquez Valdez-Scantling for obvious reasons. But as far as picking between one of these 2 tight ends, which I think is where the answer to the question comes from, let me double check the one thing here on the Chargers. And that is Disley. He's officially at. So that's the Stone Smart plug. We're going Stone Smart today. We're going Stone Smart. Number 5 matchup today on the RosterWatch tight end matchup tool. Stone Smart as your tight end over MVS, Hill, and Schultz. Unless, like I said, you're projected to lose by 25 points, then I play MVS. Appreciate the question, Justin Joxa. Half point, yes. Same rules apply. We'll play Brian Thomas. Thank you, Oscar. Ishan, need 3 between Garrett Wilson, Metcalf, McLaurin, Drake, London, and Cooper. Number 1 is going to be McLaurin. Let me double check the rest of these. Number 1 is going to be McLaurin. Number 2 is going to be Garrett Wilson. And then we have Drake, DK, and Cooper. DK is going to be the lowest. It's going to be between Drake and Cooper. Drake is our wide receiver 16. Cooper is a little bit lower. Yeah, so we're going to go Drake, McLaurin, Garrett Wilson. Ishan, best of luck. Appreciate you tapping in on this beautiful Sunday morning. Matt Cassidy lost Pickens, so pick 2. Dunze, J-Mo, Keon Coleman, Tanky Smells. I want to play him so bad, but he hasn't helped at all this year. Yeah, you can't really play Tanky right now. So we got a Dunze, J-Mo, Keon Coleman. I'm going to go, you have to pick 2, a Dunze and J-Mo, Matt Cassie. That's the move for me. Monday night, a Dunze and J-Mo in that Buffalo game. Those are the 2 for you. Bob Watson, Dowdle or Aaron Jones. Dowdle, I just talked about this, man. I got Dowdle all the way up at running back 16 for the day. Aaron Jones, however, comes in at running back 11. So both great matchups. I'd love to try to play both, but sometimes you can't do that. John at Cedar Park, good morning and let's go. Good luck, kind of, in our playoff game today. My question won't be about our game. Do you like Stroud or Winston better today? Shout out to John at Cedar Park. We played last week. I beat him. All that, coincidentally, funny enough, all that game did was figure out who's going to be the home team, and there's no advantage for being the home team. So we're playing again this week, back-to-back weeks. John and Cedar Park, I think generally that leans towards the person who lost the first time to win the second time. So, John, I'll just give you your early dub and your early flowers. Appreciate you. All right, the question of the hour is Winston versus Stroud. Winston, I felt good about before the weather. Then the weather came in. Now the weather's regressing, so I feel good about Winston. CJ Stroud, don't feel great about him. Still have Winston ahead of Stroud regardless of my adjustment pre-weather. I'm going to go Winston here ahead of Stroud. Winston against the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Stroud, even though he's against Miami. I think if you would ask Alex, he'd say Stroud. He's got him at QB7, which I think is a bit cockamamie. And if you want to ride with Alex, I wouldn't doubt you here, John. He got him at QB7, so he's got some type of feel here. Maybe he's talked to somebody. Maybe he's got he saw somebody's projections. I don't know what. Maybe the projections we have are telling him that, but I don't feel that way about Stroud because we haven't felt that way all season about Stroud because he hasn't given us what he once gave us. So I'm going Winston, but Alex is very bullish on Stroud this morning. Matt Cassidy, how do you feel about McLaughlin against the Chargers? Don't like it. Teams haven't been scoring in – wait, he's not playing the Chargers. He's playing the Colts. McLaughlin's playing the Colts, right? Denver gets the Colts today. Chargers are playing you're fucking with me here. Chargers get the Bucks. Teams haven't been scoring the red zone. I feel like he should be productive. I think he'll get opportunities, but I'm not gonna play him today. I'm not playing McLaughlin today against the Colts. Matt Cassidy, appreciate that. John at Cedar Park, sit 1 PPR. We got Hall, Swift on Monday night, Thielen, Reed, James. Oh, I'm benching Reed all day. I love Jay Reed, but I'm benching him. He's not quite to the Debo level, but this receiver room I don't trust in Green Bay right now. Not for the fantasy playoffs. I need something I can trust, and I can't trust that. Gooner Boy, pick 2, Herbert, Goff, Jordan Love. Herbert, Goff, Jordan Love. This is a good question. Let me pop up the quarterback ranks quick. Herbert's got the number 1 matchup. Yeah, we have him as quarterback 9 this week. Herbert is the clear-cut dub here. All right, appreciate you guys tapping in. Please click that like button. Please click subscribe here as I scroll through to make sure we didn't miss any super chats. We did not, but we are, friends, a little bit behind. So I got to start answering these questions a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, a little bit better than maybe I have been for the last half an hour or so. Please click that like button for me. I appreciate you guys always jumping on in here. Looks like we got Joe Justice up in here. Jalen Warren, McCormick, Juwan Johnson, Otten, Stone Smart in flex. We're going to go Stone Smart here in PPR, Joe Justice. Sounds stupid, sounds crazy. Stone cold sober here on Sunday morning. We want stone smart in your fantasy matchup to win you a playoff game and get you closer to that championship. John Cedar Park need 2 of 4 PPR. Wilson, Jones, B-Rob, Kamara. Number 1 for sure is Garrett Wilson. Number 2, I think, is going to be Aaron Jones. But let me double check Jones ahead of Brian Robinson. I'm pretty positive about that one. And I am correct. We have Brian Robinson 15th and Aaron Jones 11th. So we'll go Jones and Garrett Wilson. Ice cold Jones. Speaking of Jones, should I start Waddle, Dobbs, McLeod, Adunze, or McCormick in flex? Also Broncos defense or Chiefs defense. Playoffs, baby. Should I start Waddle, Dobbs, McLeod, Adunze, McCormick? This is a Waddle shot right here. I love me some Waddle over the field in flex. Also Broncos or Chiefs defense. I like the Broncos today against Anthony Richardson and the Colts. I think I like a couple interceptions here, maybe a couple turnovers. Let's get a 20 burger here out of the Broncos today. Whereas the Chiefs, I could see range of outcomes with Jameis doing some dirty things to this defense. Even though I don't believe it, I could see it is the problem. And I can't see Anthony Richardson doing dirty things to the Broncos defense. So let's go Broncos and Waddle. Matt Cassidy, full PPR, plus a half point per rush attempt. I don't care. We're not playing Ramondre Stevenson. Not with what Antonio Gibson has done to this backfield, taking snaps week over week over week over week. Let's go DJ. I'm not going to full fade DJ because we got to get some DJ love in here on Monday for the Bears. I think this is going to be a 35-30 game again, and I'm going to go ahead and ride DJ for a couple tugs in that game. Matt Cassidy. John at Cedar Park, sit one. Hall, Swift, Thielen, Reed. I already said this one. I'll go Reed. Worst part of being a part of RosterWatch PRO is setting lineups for 10 playoff games, $10 a month. Let's go. Sounds like $1 a league right there. That's what it sounds like. It's on $1 a league a month for you to win and be in the playoffs. Man, John Cedar Park is the greatest, one of the OGs of RosterWatch Nation. Omar says Bucky Irving or Tyron Tracy, full PPR. I'm going Tyron Tracy, even though he's got a brutal matchup. Again, I think I like Rachaad White a lot today, again in Tampa Bay. CP says half PPR, need 1. Brian Thomas, Zay, or Waddle. That's tight. I know that's tight. Let me double check this here. So, Brian Thomas Jr., Zay, and Waddle. Zay, 25. Brian Thomas, 28. And Waddle, oh no, Waddle, 37. So we got Zay, 25, leader in the clubhouse. Zay, then Brian, then Waddle. CP, best of luck. Daniela is awesome. I don't know what the hell that means, but sure. Hunter Henry or Zach Ertz. Hunter Henry or Zach Ertz. I love Zach Ertz, but Hunter Henry is like the only dude right now in New England. So we'll take Hunter Henry today. He is tight end 8. Ertz is tight end 10. Very close, but we'll go Henry today. Oh, Oscar says Daniels, not Daniela. Daniela might be awesome too, but Daniels is awesome. Appreciate that, Oscar. Appreciate you dropping that in there. All right, let me get back up here to wherever that was. There we go. Pop off. CP says half PPR, need 1. Njoku, Kraft, Pitts, Jatavian. Also Geno or Jameis. The quarterback side of things. Geno comes in at QB 20. Jameis comes in at QB 18. So we'll go Jameis there. And then at tight end, you got Njoku, who's inactive. Kraft, Pitts, and Jatavian. Pitts is a borderline, like full fade, can't touch him right now. Kraft is our tight end 12, so that's a tight end 1 in those circumstances. And then Jatavian is a tight end 26 for us. So we're going to go Kraft here, CP in half PPR. Appreciate the question as always. Steven Zick, Cooper or Elijah Moore, also Tua or Darnold. Already answered that one. Said Elijah Moore, and then we'll go Tua by a touch. Kyle Gregory, need 2 PPR. Please, Aaron Jones, Drake London, Tyron Tracy, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Aaron Jones, London, Tracy. Need 2. I feel like I similar question. Kyle, this isn't your first question today, but I do think I answered a similar question to that. So we're going to go Neighbors and Aaron Jones today. London's up there, Tracy's up there, but not quite as high as Neighbors and Jones. Appreciate the question, Kyle Gregory. Appreciate you tapping in this morning as always. All right, Knicks or Mahomes, pretty even. Not quite. Bullish on Knicks today. And Mahomes a little bit pulled back here. Matchups are pretty similar on the RosterWatch matchup tool. We got Knicks at QB7 and Mahomes at QB10. So ballpark, but not quite even. Knicks ahead of Mahomes. Goonerboy answered the question from the Jacksonville question earlier, grass or turf. I thought it was grass. He doubles up and says grass for sure. Man, I'm a little dry this morning. All right. Moose says, Moose, shout out, brother. Appreciate you jumping in here. One tight end needed. Muth, Otten, Pitts. Pick 2. Need one running back as well. Najee, Pollard, Downs. Okay, so I think this is a 3-parter, Moose. So we'll go Muth, Otten, Pitts. We're going Muth. No. I'm wrong. I think that's Otten. I think those guys are tight. Yeah, Otten, tight end 17. Freiermuth, tight end 18. Both brutal matchups, but we got Otten by a fraction of a hair there at the tight end position. Okay, it's the second part of this. Second part is pick 2. Oh, she did pick 2. Okay, so we're gonna go Otten, Pitts. Otten and Pitts are right there. They're the 2. Need one running back, Najee or Pollard. We're going Pollard. Downs or Thielen in full PPR. We're going Thielen. So Thielen, Pollard, Pitts, and Otten. There's your, I think that's the way that question was asked. Hopefully that helped. Navi, Nihar, or Baltimore or Washington defenses today. Washington, of course, travels down to New Orleans. Baltimore travels over to the Giants, and they're 16.5-point favorites. We're going to go Baltimore Ravens today against Tommy Cutlets. Specialist 90. Hey, Cody, which 3 would you start? Jones, Higgins, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, PPR. Thanks, bro. Aaron Jones at the top is 100%er. Garrett Wilson's number 2. And your third one comes down to T. Higgins and Drake London. T. Higgins and Drake London. Drake London comes in for us at wide receiver 16. T. Higgins comes in for us as a consensus wide receiver 20. So we'll go bench Higgins, of the 4 guys here. So Jones, London, Wilson are the starters. Eber De La Hoya, flex Romeo or Jake Ferguson. Fatal Jalapeno Metcalf or Thielen. We'll go Thielen. Son of a Beach, T.Y. We'll go Neighbors or Shakir. We're going actually Shakir here. Rome the host. Start 1 running back, 1 receiver, 1 flex. Tracy, McCormick, Thielen, Downs, McConkey. We get 1 running back, 1 receiver, 1 flex. So your running back option is Tracy or McCormick. We're going Tracy, receiver, and flex. So you get Thielen, Downs, McConkey. We're going Thielen and McConkey. So Tracy, Thielen, McConkey, Rome. Best of luck today. Appreciate you hopping in the chat this beautiful morning. Jeremiah Jackson, Jordan Love, or Anthony Richardson at the quarterback position. Tough spot to be in today. We do like Jordan Love, but we like Anthony Richardson just a touch more in this matchup here against the Denver Broncos. It's a tough matchup, but you do have the rushing for Anthony Richardson, averaging 42.5 rushing yards per game. We think the attempts will be there for Richardson today, despite playing against Pat Surtain. Jordan Love going over to Seattle. It's an interesting matchup, but we're not quite as bullish as a team. I prefer Jordan Love, but the team of Alex, Trashman, and I prefer Richardson by a hair ahead of Jordan Love. Big Meech, Happy BR, Tracy or Irving. I'm going to die on it today, man. Fading Irving, buying Tracy. We're going to die on it today. Mike, Adunze or Elijah Moore. RosterWatch Nation. Mike, thank you for tapping in, as always. We're going to go Elijah Moore today. I love Elijah Moore for 10-plus targets. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get back on Underdog, and I'm going to tap into some more. I know it's not on our list today, but I'm going to be smacking some Elijah Moore target numbers. They can't put that thing high enough for us. Actually, you know what? As I'm talking right now, I'm just going to pull up Underdog because it's that easy. And I'm going to see what that new Elijah Moore target number is. Let's go to Pick'em. All you got to do is type in Elijah Moore. 4.5 receptions. Are you kidding me? 40. Are you kidding me? They didn't even got a target number for us. But I tell you what they do got. They got receptions. 4.5 receptions. Are you kidding me? Smash. Elijah Moore, 4.5 receptions. Over. Roma Dunze or Elijah. We're going Elijah. Dre says half-point PPR. Flex 1. Hopkins, Watson, Tracy, Etienne, or McCormick. Thank you. Dre, thank you as well for tapping in here. So flex 1 singular player out of this list of 5. Not Etienne, not McCormick, not Watson. It comes down to Hopkins versus Tracy. Tracy, we just talked about, has a tough matchup for running backs, but we still like him. Hopkins has actually a pretty decent matchup here for wide receivers against Cleveland Browns. So we're going to go ahead and ride with DeAndre Hopkins today. Dre, Ernie Torres, CD, Sharbo, Mike Evans at PPR. Holy shnikes. Ernie, this is a tough one here. Lamb, Charbonnet, Mike Evans. So I'm not going to tell you to not play Mike Evans, but Mike Evans is third here. This comes down to Charbonnet and Lamb for me. And we have Lamb as a top. He's actually the number 6 overall receiver for us. Scratch that. 8th. 6 for me. 8th overall. And then at running back, Charbonnet. I think we got to play Lamb. It's a tough spot, Ernie. It's just tough. You got to play Lamb, though. You got to play Lamb. Dre N says Tua or Kyler. Tua's a top 10, but Kyler's a top 5 play for us today. Appreciate that. Let me double back and make sure there's no supers. Looks like we're all good there. We are way behind, though. So we're going to get cooking here. We're 1 hour in, 1 hour, 1 minute. We're going to keep on grinding as the 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time window approaches. 57 minutes from now, we're going to get through these questions, and then we're going to get on out of here, heading over to rosterwatch.com. If you got any more questions, you want to ask him to Trashman, you want to ask him to Alex, whatever it may be. Big weekend here in week 15 to get those picks in. Get off of here, get your DFS lineup set, get your underdog slips set, and get relaxed for a beautiful weekend of football. Big Meech, Juwan Johnson or K. Dotton. Juwan is on that one. Franz, thanks, Cody. Really appreciate all your hard work. Franz, I appreciate you tapping in every single damn week, brother. CP, half PPR need 2. Dowdle, Tracy, Elijah Moore. Dowdle, Elijah Moore. Big gap, Tracy. That's how that ranking goes. 1, 2, big gap. Then there's Tracy down here by himself. Dowdle and Moore. Soggy Danger, appreciate you. Been a minute. I feel like it's been a minute, but I appreciate you, Soggy Danger, tapping in. Pittman or Tank Dizzy. This is brutal because Pittman's in the 40s, and I think Tank is like in the early 40s. So we're going to go Tank today. Bet on some upside. Pittman, stay away from Pat Surtain. Michael Pittman, you've been locked up all year, and you're in the toughest matchup of the year. So we're going to stay way away from Michael Pittman. I did add him in a league that I played John and Cedar Park in today. I added him, but it was not to play him this week. Tank Dizzy. Jeremiah Jackson, JSN or Garrett Wilson at wide receiver. Garrett Wilson comes in for us as wide receiver 16, top 3 matchup. Jackson Smith-Njigba comes in, wide receiver 17, bottom 5 matchup. We'll go Garrett Wilson today for the New York Football Jets. Soggy Danger, Jacoby Myers or Tyron Tracy, full PPR. Thank you, Cody. Soggy, let's go Jacoby Myers today. Again, 95 plus targets, 0 drops on the year. He's continuing to do it in Las Vegas. A little bit of a tougher matchup today for Brock Bowers. So let's see if we can get some Jacoby love on this Sunday. Andy Sue, need a flex in non-PPR. Neighbors, Tracy, Irving, JMO. Holy shit, you got a lot of questions here. A lot of names here. Harrison Jr. I'm starting Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Hubbard, and McCormick. Well, I would play, to be honest with you, I'd play Tracy over McCormick, but that's here nor there. Need a flex. Your flex between Neighbors and Harrison Jr. would be Neighbors and then Harrison. and then JMO, and then Irving. But I would play Tracy over McCormick, and then my flex would be Neighbors. But I would think about Harrison Jr. for a touch. But I'm going to go Neighbors here. Andy Sue, appreciate you. Yeah, Joy, AJ Brown or Aaron Jones. I care more about who has the higher floor. Well, Aaron Jones has the higher floor, but obviously AJ Brown potentially getting right here has the higher ceiling. So I'm going to go Aaron Jones because you brought up the floor. We're getting Aaron Jones touches, targets, everything in Minnesota on Monday night, and potentially touchdowns. AJ Brown, they haven't proved anything to us yet, so there really isn't a floor built in here that is dependable for AJ Brown, but there is a ceiling. So be prepared. If he puts a 35 burger up in the first half, you can't be shocked. But I think Aaron Jones definitely gives you the better floor here in the fantasy playoffs, which matters. Yeah, Joy. Best of luck. Appreciate you jumping in on this beautiful morning. Kasim Gohar says, Jonnu or Hunter Henry. We talked about Hunter Henry and how important he's been to New England, but Jonnu has been sick. And he got there last week in overtime. I think where he's going to continue to get there on a weekly basis. Jonnu Smith over Hunter Henry in full PPR. Juan Pena, big one. I can read it. Big one. Who for my flex and running back 2? I have Jefferson, already put in Kyron, and Kittle on my bench. Oh, Kittle at tight end. On my bench is Charbonnet, Stevenson, Brees, Ken, Jennings, Myers, Worthy, MVS, Mooney, and Kraft. We need a flex and a running back 2. Charbonnet is my running back 2 ahead of Brees Hall. The flex comes down to Brees Hall and Myers and Mooney. I think I'm going to axe Mooney, and it's going to come down to Myers and Brees. And I think Juan, sorry, I don't mean to call you Juan. Juan, I'm going to go Charbonnet, and we're going to go Brees today. Flex and running back 2. Best of luck. Kyron, Jefferson, Kittle, Charbonnet, Brees. Bring home the title. That's a title-worthy team, Juan Pena. Kick some ass, take some names, and win a title. Let's ride. I'll see you next week. Rod, half PPR, need 2. Sincere McCormick or Downs? Well, here's the thing. If you need 2, you got to play both of those options. So I don't think I can help you there. Currently starting White, but have Bucky and K9. If Bucky or K9 plays, replace Sincere and Downs. Okay, so you're playing 2 of those 4. I don't think Ken's going to play. I think pretty sure Ken's going to be out. Shitty enough, it's a Sunday night game. I don't want to play Bucky either. I think you got to keep Sincere and Downs in there for what it is. I wish you had better options in free agency, Rod, but I understand you probably don't. I would play Sincere and Downs and just leave it for what it is. I don't think K9's. If K9 plays, obviously just throw K9 in. But I think it'll be too late at that point because you have Sincere. Sincere's on Monday. No, so if K9 plays, if he's active tonight, you could bench Sincere for K9. I think that's cool. But Downs, I think you have to play over Bucky for sure. Rod, best of luck. Thank you. Sorry about that. Slick Mike, Jets or Broncos defense, Smart or Kraft? Smart versus Kraft is very close. Kraft, I have at 13. Trashman has him at 9. Alex has him at 10. Smart, I have at 14 with a top 5 matchup. Alex has him at 17. So we'll go Kraft by a touch. I'll defer. Let's go Kraft by a touch, even though I feel like the answer might be Smart. Jets or Broncos on defense. Broncos hosting the Colts. The Jets are traveling down to Jacksonville. I think both are great matchups here for those defenses that you just mentioned, Broncos and Jets. I'm going to go with the Jets. I said Colts. I said Broncos before to the last guy. We're going to go Jets today against those Jags. I mean, Mac Jones sucks, period. Best of luck, Slick. Kasim Gohar, Jonnu or Hunter Henry? Jonnu. Eddie H. Mahomes or Anthony Richardson, both suspect weather games. I'm going to go Mahomes today. Eddie H. I feel a little bit better about that weather that we talked about just a minute ago. OS, Jacoby or Jalen Waddle? Another good one here. I think this is going to be really close when the numbers come through. Myers is wide receiver 23. And Waddle is wide receiver 34. So Myers by quite a bit here. Number one matchup for wide receivers as well. Kyle Gregory, if I can sneak one more in, pick one at PPR. Brees, Swift, Tracy. Appreciate you all year in the playoffs in about 80% of redraft leagues. That's an excellent rate, Kyle Gregory. Appreciate you. Best of luck, and appreciate you tapping in all year. Hall, Swift, or Tracy. Hall, Swift, or Tracy at the running back position. The first name that pops up for us is Hall, and then Tracy, and then Swift for us at the running back position. Swift coming in with a bottom two matchup against the Vikings, running back 24. Tracy comes in at 22, and Hall into the top 20. So we'll go Hall first, then Tracy. There you go, Mahomes. Eddie H, pick two. Evans, London, Thielen, or Downs. We're going to go ahead and ride with Evans and London here in full PPR. I like Thielen, but I'm going to go Evans and London. Matt Cassidy, oh, my bad, meant McLaughlin, the kicker for the Bucs. Oh, good call. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine then against the Chargers. I like that's okay. I'm not bullish in any direction here, but I think the Bucs are going to be able to score 20 plus points. So we're looking at probably 2 field goals and a couple extra points, which is just fine for kickers. I mean, it's hard to get any type of aggression towards a much kicking situation. So I think Tampa scores enough points that you're going to be fine. Ben, how you doing, brother? Morning. Appreciate your advice all season. Non-PPR need 3. Addison, Jameson, Tracy, or Pacheco. Second question, Love, Winston, or Caleb. Second question is going to go Caleb. First question, also, Ben, thank you as well. Non-PPR need 3. Addison, Jameson, Tracy, Pacheco. So Tracy versus Pacheco is an interesting dynamic that we kind of talked about throughout the week at Roster Watch. I'm low on Pacheco. The fellas are a little bit higher than I. Trashman has Pacheco ahead of Tracy. Alex has these guys back to back with Tracy one spot ahead. And then I am the one that's kind of just like pulling down earth on Pacheco below Tracy. So we're going to go Tracy between those two guys. And then at receiver, you bet up Jameson and Addison. Again, this is non-PPR, and you need 3. Addison and Jameson. Addison's our wide receiver 27, and Jameson comes in at 36. So we're going to go, I want to go both receivers here because of upside downfield threats. So we're going to go both Addison, Jameson. And honestly, I'm going to ride with them with Pacheco. I'm going to let them have the lean here with Pacheco because of projected carries. He's projected to be in the 17 carry range from our model. So we're going to go Addison, Jameson, and Pacheco. And then we'll also go Caleb with the second question. Ben, best of luck. We'll see you next week. Matt Cassidy, the full PPR, got Ertz in my lineup, have Kmet on the bench. That's okay. Drop Kmet, either grab Stone Smart, Hollywood, Atlanta defense for next week, potentially. I don't think Stone's a bad idea. I have him just narrowly behind Ertz. I would understand if you played Stone ahead of Ertz. Atlanta defense, I mean, I don't know how badly I want to ever own the Atlanta defense, even though they play the Giants at home. I actually think the Giants are going to win that game. I think I said that on SiriusXM yesterday, or maybe I said it on Friday on the show. I think the Giants win that game, funny enough, which is a gnarly take. I think you go ahead and you add Stone Smart here for rest of season rather than Atlanta, and I think rather than Hollywood. Ellis, Isaiah Davis, or Sean Tucker. Isaiah Davis. T-Haws, Krishman. Should I start Judy, Drake London, or Brian Thomas Jr.? Love Judy today, but Drake London we have ranked a little bit ahead of Jerry Judy. Drake London comes in at wide receiver 12. Judy comes in at wide receiver 20. So they're close, but not that close. DeYon, Chuba, Connor, Brown, and Monty. I'm assuming this is Chase Brown. So we're going to go Chuba, Chase Brown, and then it's going to be Connor and Monty, and I love Connor. I'm bullish on Connor today. So we're going to bench Monty. This is a great spot to be in. Chuba, Connor, and Brown. Best of luck today, Dion. Same question here from T-Haas. We already answered that. Matt Cassidy wants to celebrate and show gratitude to you and Roster Watch crew for helping us get here in the playoffs. I'm 4 of 4 in and fighting to defend 2 titles. Thanks, brother. Big love. Appreciate you, Matt Cassidy. This is why we do it. We do it for the people. We do it for the great ones that are OGs that stay tapped in all times to Roster Watch Nation. Just trying to get you through, just trying to get us through. We're just trying to get these dubs, trying to get these championships, trying to get these wins. And we thank all of you because we couldn't do it without you. We've been literally preparing for the last couple of weeks. We're in season. We've been preparing for what? The off season. We're preparing to go to the Senior Bowl because there's no off season. We say it's the off season, but it's just the off in season is what you call it. We got the Shrine Bowl. We got the Senior Bowl already planned. We're planning the Combine right now. We ain't stopping at Roster Watch Nation. If you people know, if you don't know, now you know. The OGs know. But if you're new to Roster Watch, January's packed full of content. February's packed full of content. March and April packed full of content as we get you through the off season, as we travel to the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, the Pro Days, the Combine, the Draft, etc. We got you covered as we continue to build this damn thing. Matt Cassidy, I can't thank you enough for that you dropped in the chat right there, man. That's big. That's can't thank you enough. Dylan Fink, full PPR, lost K9 this week. Need one running back, one flex, one tight end out of the below. Irving, McLaughlin, Allen, Jamo, Smith, Ertz, Schultz, Meyer, Muth. Thanks in advance. All right, 1-1-1. One running back, Irving, McLaughlin, Allen. I'm going Allen. One tight end, Ertz, Schultz, Meyer, Muth. We got to go Ertz. And then your flex, you got to go Jamo. So let's go Allen, Jamo, Ertz. Dylan Fink, best of luck. Skio Mantis, 6-point passing touchdowns. League love, Knicks or Mayfield. Thanks, my man. Hope the stream goes well. Good luck. All the playoffs. Sicko, thank you for tapping in. 6-point passing touchdowns. Love, Knicks, Mayfield. I think this may edge Mayfield a touch with the 6-point passing touchdowns, but it's still not enough to catch up to Knicks, who is quarterback 4 this week against the Indianapolis Colts. Best of luck, Sicko. Ride with Bo. Givey Love, pick 2. DJ, Terry, or Lamb. Oh boy, that's a tough one there, but we're going to go ahead and have to ride with Terry and CD. DJ Moore is going to be down there in the 20s. We love Terry this week because of the cuck score for my man, Matty Kiwoom, and then CD Lamb is a top 10 play consensus. MTA, full PPR, Devonta Smith, MHJ, Swift, or Darnell Mooney, pick 1. Give me Marvin Harrison Jr. Do it. I'm telling you, MTA, do it. What does your gut say about Swift playing tomorrow? My gut says about Swift playing tomorrow is that Swift has a tough matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. About him actually playing with a DNP limited on Saturday is that he gets that extra day. And I think that extra day is going to make Swift have to play. I think we're going to get DeAndre Swift. And if not, I might be a little bit sad because we got no Roshan. So that would deflate me. Something terrible. Kincaid or Kraft today at tight end. Kraft comes in tight end 12, Kincaid at 15. So we're going to go Kraft here. Laporta or Hawkinson. Hawkinson is tight end 6, and Laporta is tight end 7. The bullish between the consensus 776 888. That's how we got it here for Hawkinson and for Laporta for the ranking. So Hawkinson's consensus. Givey Love, Bucky, Dowdle, DJ Moore, or Tracy in flex. We're going Dowdle there for sure. Whole on vlog, start 2, AJ Brown, Kamara, Dowdle. It's half and projected to be very similar in points to my opponent. I have Hurts and lots of other upside on my roster with Gibbs, Nico, and JJ. I like Dowdle here for sure. And then it comes down to Kamara and Brown. So I'm going to go AJ Brown and Dowdle here for you. I don't love the situation for Kamara today. We're going to go Brown and Dowdle. CP, he said Kincaid and Kraft a minute ago. We said Kraft. He also asks Geno, May, and Winston. I know this one is definitely not May, and I'm pretty positive that it's Winston. Winston is 18, Geno is 20. So we're going to go Winston and Kraft. Sounds like a new mac and cheese. Kasem Gohart, Jonnu or Hunter Henry. I think I already said Jonnu to this one. Specialist 90 says Brian Thomas or Elijah Moore. Going Elijah Moore and that BS 4.5 reception number on Underdog. Kip C, Elijah Moore, 4.7K on FanDuel, 5K on DraftKings. Feels like he might be a free square. I would say just a bit. I'm looking. I mean, there's no reason this cat doesn't finish the game with 10 plus targets, like I said before. So free square that. I like it. Blue Crew, Ridley or Neighbors. Full PPR flex. Give me Neighbors 100% right here. We're getting down to the finish line, man. We're getting down to the finish line. Hour and 20 strong. Appreciate y'all mobbing. Otten or Freiermuth is the question. Otten comes in at 17, Freiermuth at 18. We've talked about this one a couple times. I feel decent about them, but they both have brutal matchups. So we're going to go Otten here. France, Tracy or White in one PPR running back spot. Thanks, dog. I don't think this is a great spot to be in. Tracy's got a brutal matchup. Obviously, Bucky's going to be there for White, but I'm going to go ahead and play White here. France, appreciate you. Kasim asks again, Jonnu is the answer over Hunter Henry. Jose Avalos, I need 3 wide receivers. I got Lamb, Shakir, DJ, Ladd, Thielen. I know Lamb's top 10 for us. Ladd, and then Thielen. That's your 3. Lamb, Ladd, and Thielen today. Jose, thank you. Shakir or DJ Moore. I'm not the most bullish on Shakir, but he is just a few spots behind DJ Moore as a consensus. I personally have Shakir ahead of ahead of Moore, but as consensus, we do have DJ Moore 4 spots ahead of Khalil Shakir. So let's go there. Big Bob, Breece Hall, Charbonnet, James Conner, sit Breece Hall. I feel I have least confidence in Breece Hall's health than I do Charbonnet and James Conner's roles. I think Charbonnet and Conner both have 100-yard rushing upside here. Breece Hall not been healthy. Also, not the best matchup today against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Home slice, pick 2 full PPR, Malik, Brian Thomas, Waddle, bench Brian Thomas. Home slice also asks at tight end Laporta or Ertz. We're benching Ertz. So we'll go Laporta, and then at the wide receiver, we'll go Neighbors and Waddle. We're getting down there. Elper Selleck. Should I start Jatavian Sanders, Noah Gray, Akins, or anyone else at tight end? Akins is the play today with no Njoku at tight end between this question particularly. Gray has been pretty consistent, top 20, but Akins with no Njoku is my lean here, Alper. Thank you. Kipsy says, good luck, y'all, in the playoffs. Hope we survive in advance or prep our bye squads and meet back up again next week. We'll be back here December 22nd, probably 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. I pushed it back a little bit today because I needed to get some of these inactives in. And quite frankly, I went to a Christmas party last night, so I got to sleep a little bit longer. I didn't sleep too long, but had to get a little long, and then I had to prepare for the show. So we got in here at 11. We'll probably get in at 11 next weekend as well. Duffy, start 2, Breece, Cook, Sharb. We're starting Charbonnet, and we're playing Cook, and we'll bench Breece. Emta, Hurts or Knicks, and then Vikings or Ravens defense. Vikings get the Bears, Ravens get the Giants. The Vikings give up 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns to Williams last time. Let's fade that. Let's play the Ravens defense. And then at quarterback, you said Hurts and Knicks back-to-back in the consensus. Hurts is 6, Knicks is 7. I have Knicks higher, but the consensus has Hurts higher, so let's go Hurts and Ravens defense. Home slice, pick 3, Zay, Keenan Allen, Ridley, McConkey. I haven't picked Keenan Allen at all today, and I'm going to continue to stay that way. We're going to go Zay, Ridley, and McConkey. I feel best about McConkey here, probably second best about Flowers. And then it comes down to Ridley and Keenan Allen. And Ridley and Keenan Allen are going to be Keenan Allen at 37, and Ridley's going to be a little bit lower than that. Actually, I'm wrong. He's at 25. So we'll go the other 2. We'll go McConkey and Flowers, and then Ridley. There you go. That's the number here. Nicholas says DJ Moore, Ladd, Myers, Neighbors. Who sits? DJ Moore sits. Ladd, Myers, Neighbors is my answer right here. Neighbors, Ladd, and Myers. I think I just said it 3 different ways, but I think that's the answer. No DJ. Bench DJ. Doug Seamers, appreciate you jumping in this beautiful Sunday morning. Standard scoring, sit 1. Connor, oh boy. Charbonnet or Chase Brown? Oof. Connor, Charbonnet, Chase Brown. Chase Brown's running back 7 for us. Connor's running back 14. Oh. Charbonnet, I guess, is lower. He had the toughest matchup. I guess you got to bench Charbonnet. Doug Somers, best of luck. Ivan Malter, start 3, sit 1. Myers, Moore, Thielen, Flowers. This is another bench DJ Moore situation right here, Ivan Malter. Play Myers, Thielen, and Flowers. Pick one, Dave Flynn. Pick one in flex, Breece Hall, Waddle, or McCormick. I have the most confidence in Waddle, which is saying not a lot because I don't have a lot of confidence in Waddle. But that is where I'm going to sit here with Waddle. Don't trust the injury stuff with Hall and McCormick, man. He just doesn't belong in some of these conversations. I understand the question, but he just doesn't. I'm not there, man. I guess this Raiders team sucks. I'm just not there as far as thinking that McCormick could potentially give us a top 15 game even. Dave Flynn also says Kraft or Ferguson. We're going Kraft here by a couple of spots. Kraft is the number 12 tight end for us on the week. Dave Flynn, appreciate that. Big Birds, Devonta Smith, Adunze, Keenan, or Jay Reed. Pick one in half PPR. This comes down to Devonta Smith and Rome Adunze for me. Rome Adunze, we have at 42. Devonta at 39. I guess Keenan's at 37. So there's your answer. Keenan's just a notch ahead. So we'll go Keenan Allen here at wide receiver 37. Number 7 matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. We'll go Keenan Allen here over Adunze and Devonta Smith. Home slice. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate it as always. Appreciate everybody who's tapped into this beautiful Sunday morning, December 15th, 64 degrees here in South Carolina. It's exciting. It's exciting. Winter's here. Christmas is here. Gonna have a good weekend. Great weekend of football. We appreciate you. We love you. Go on over to RosterWatch.com. If you got any more questions, you'll be answered by Trashman, Alex, and Byron, and I might jump on over there right quick for a minute as well. We love you. We appreciate you. Click that like button. Click subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Underdog Monday Night Pick'em Show.
This is Anthony Richardson, and you're listening to Roster Watch.